Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are talking right now with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com, trying to anticipate betting value from the Major League Baseball card Wednesday, August 5th. And Joe Duffy, the first game I want to ask you about, Aaron Harang, right? He is back for Philadelphia and coming back off of the disabled list. We know that Philadelphia, we discussed it in our last segment, was the single most profitable team in all of baseball in July. Very impressive. But, you know, I'm not sure that's going to carry over here into August. And Harang had a decent start against a relatively weak Atlanta lineup in his first start back from the disabled list. But before that, he had been getting crushed. 6 straight starts where he gave up at least 4 runs. Philly lost all 6 of those starts. He went 35 innings, gave up 34 runs in those starts. And here he's going to be at home against the Dodgers and Brett Anderson. I don't know, man. I think we bet on the Dodgers run line here. What do you think?
I would agree with you. Look, Aaron Harang, his last start was kind of one of those bend, don't break starts. He got himself out of a few jams, and as you said, he wasn't exactly facing good offense. Not only was he not facing good offense, but the Braves have been an ice-cold offense. They've been arguably the coldest in Major League Baseball, so that wasn't all that impressive. You do like to see when guys are struggling before they go off of the DL. Maybe they can turn it around coming off of the DL. Maybe there's both even the physical and mental rest will help them. In the case of Harang, I wouldn't read too much into the fact he's coming off a pretty good start. I think he's a big go against. Remember, he got off to that splendid start, maybe his first 6 or 7 starts of the year, but he's been really awful since. I think Harang is a go against, but of course, gets back to what we were saying about yesterday. Phillies have been playing pretty well as of late, so just keep an eye. I'm still a little bit hesitant to go against the Phillies. They seem to be rallying around, this us against them type thing. So the Phillies seem to be a pretty good bet right now, but with Aaron Harang, he's a go against for sure.
And then we have Madison Bumgarner against Williams Perez. This is an interesting matchup, right? Bumgarner's coming off a start where he did get hit hard at Texas, kind of an emotional start. I'm guessing that he settles down here and bounces back. And Williams Perez was doing well before he went on the DL. He got crushed in his first start back, but his minor league rehab numbers look pretty good overall. So I'm thinking maybe we get a bounce back start from Perez as well. I think we have 2 good arms here, both coming off of subpar starts. I'm thinking that maybe we lean towards an under here. What do you think about that analysis? Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com.
Yeah, Madison Bumgarner, he's the opposite of Clayton Kershaw, where Clayton Kershaw is spectacular during the regular season and so-so when it comes to the postseason. Obviously, Bumgarner in the postseason, there's no question about it. But lately, he's been a pretty good go against. He's got an ERA of 4.85 in the month of July. They are turning the calendar, of course, in this game, but I don't know. Bumgarner at this point, let me see him come off another start, see if he can turn it around. And he might actually be decent value to go against, to be honest with you.
Really? You don't think that it was just because he was at Texas? It was kind of a tough game. He still had a lot of strikeouts in that game, and I think he didn't walk anyone either. I'm thinking that was just a matter of variance and, a hitter-friendly park. Here he's going to be against Atlanta, a much weaker lineup in a pitcher-friendly park. I'm expecting a bounce back from Bumgarner. You're not, though?
There is no question when you're facing Atlanta at this point. That is the perfect team to have a bounce back. As I said, their bats have been ice cold, but it still gets back to value. Obviously, he's going to be a little bit of a favorite there. So, if we were talking about a different pitcher other than Bumgarner, where you're always going to have to lay a pretty big price, maybe, but you are correct. A great situation to bounce back is facing the Atlanta Braves bats.
And then another game I have circled here is Arizona at Washington. Robbie De La Rosa against Gio Gonzalez. I think we might have a significant pitching edge here for Washington. De La Rosa, very up and down, definitely capable of quality, excellent starts. He does seem to get hit, though, on the road against solid lineups, although he did throw a great game at Coors in late June. But still, he got hit at Houston in his last game, and it feels like there's a lot of volatility for him. I look back at his game log. 11 out of his 21 starts this year, he's given up 4 or more runs, and Gonzalez pitches very well at home. In his 7 home starts this year, in 6 of them, he's given up 2 or fewer runs. So, I'm expecting both those trends to be roughly likely to continue, and maybe Washington has some value here based on their starting pitching advantage. What do you think, Joe?
I can't argue with that. I think really my only precautionary thing would be guys like De La Rosa, who, as you said, has been remarkably inconsistent. These erratic guys, as big underdogs, they're dangerous because, like I said, the average player, the average bettor doesn't like these inconsistent pitchers, but either do the odds makers. And as a general rule of thumb, if you've got an erratic pitcher as a favorite, he can be a good go against, but you got an erratic pitcher as an underdog, he can be dangerous. But Gonzalez, who early in the year was underachieving, has turned it around, and I'm a big believer that, pitchers like Gonzalez, they do regress to the mean, and again, regress can also mean progress based on the definition, and Gio Gonzalez seems to be returning to where he needs to be. Maybe a surprise under, because De La Rosa can be so erratic. Still, I'd be a little bit hesitant to go against such an erratic pitcher when you got to lay some big lumber.
All right, Joe, and then let's talk about the Johnny Cueto game. This is a game that I don't have any leans or opinions on yet, but big matchup, so I want to hear what you have to say about it. Johnny Cueto against Buck Farmer. You advised us to fade Johnny Cueto in his first start with Kansas City. I did that. I bet Toronto on the overnight line, that one at like plus 108. They wound up closing it like minus 112, and they did wind up pulling out the win, although Cueto had an okay start. He went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs, so, it wasn't totally his fault, although it certainly wasn't the lights-out start that, Casey was hoping to get from Cueto most of his starts. Here he's going to be on the road at Detroit. Buck Farmer starting on the other side for Detroit. Do you have anything to say about Cueto's second start for KC?
I lucked out on that one, I will confess. That was actually a premium play, and in fact, for me, it was a historic night, if I remember it, that I honestly believe, and maybe my memory is convenient, but I don't think I have ever won 3 extra inning games in one night, much in a row, because the extra innings have always been my Achilles heel. So that was a spectacular night. That was maybe as much a lucky call as it was a good call, though.
It depends on the number you got. I mean, I played that pick because of your advice in our call, and I got plus 108. The game went off at like 112 or minus 115. So no matter what happened in that game, I was feeling like I made a good bet, right?
Yeah, we did. The exact number that I got, I'm not all that sure, but it was an overnight pick. So,
right.
But again, we also had some team reasons that we put behind that if those people bought the picks and got the analysis. But at the same time, yeah, at this point, look, I'm not saying to go against Cueto. Still fits a little bit into my usually lasts about 1 or 2 starts, sometimes a little bit longer. Like, Jeff Samardzija would be a good example where they took some time to adjust to their new environs. But, all in all, it's not like a theory that I 100% live and die by. I don't know if I want to bet on Cueto quite yet.
Okay, well, I think I have 3 solid leans for a Wednesday, August 5th. Under in Bumgarner and Perez, and definitely leaning towards Washington, probably on the run line, and the Dodgers probably on the run line. Is there anything else you'd like to bring to our attention from Wednesday, August 5th? Joe Duffy.
Yeah, a couple good pitchers, so you're not going to get spectacular value, but Scott Kazmir is as sizzling as it gets. He had the 3rd lowest July ERA in Major League history at .26. A great splits pitcher. We talked about it last time. Drew Hutchinson at home for Toronto, 2.47 ERA, 9 on the road. And then this late in the year, and I think he's got roughly 20 starts. And so that is as compelling as you're going to get as home road splits are concerned. Danny Salazar, 1.39 opponents batting average against over his last 4 starts. So, yeah, we do have some good intel there, and those Hutchinson splits have been tremendous this year.
And Joe Duffy's final picks will be at offshoreinsiders.com for this Wednesday, August 5th card. Right, Joe?
You got it, sir. I don't make my final picks until the previous night's results are in. I have a bunch of leans before them, but I never finalize them until the previous night's results are in.
All right. As always, thanks for your thoughts, Joe.